Good morning, writers. My name is Elora Gunn, and today we're going to be talking about how to protect your book from bad beta readers. If you are a new or aspiring writer, click that subscribe button below, and also follow me on my socials, and the links are in the description. Let's get started. One fear I think most authors have in this digital age is that someone, most likely a bad beta reader, is going to steal your book and sell it somewhere on the internet. Unfortunately, that is the truth. It can happen. There are so many sites out there that are just looking to post some new story for a quick buck. And while I say overwhelmingly, you're not going to have that happen with every beta reader, there are some things that you can do to help protect your work so that the few you do run into don't get their hands on the entire thing. Because unfortunately, not every nice stranger that you meet on the internet has your best interest in mind. But before you start to panic that you're going to lose everything and that every beta reader is some shady person that just wants to steal your book, let's take a breath and let's go over a couple of things you can do to mitigate that risk. Number one, give your beta readers a test. And I'm not talking about multiple choice. Last week I mentioned that I don't give my beta readers my entire manuscript. I give them a couple of chapters just so I can focus in a little bit better on what needs to actually be changed. But this has the added bonus of testing your beta readers and protecting your work. My very first book that I wrote that I used beta readers for, I started out with 20 beta readers. I sent them that first section of the first couple chapters of the book and the list of questions, and a general timeline of when I needed that work back. By the due dates, 8 of the beta readers had given me fantastic notes, and I had such a great experience with them. 5 of the beta readers either didn't complete the section, or their notes were kind of terrible and didn't really help me at all. And 7 of them either never did anything with it, or gave me off so many red flags and bad vibes that I cut contact and I deleted all of the info that they had. This is why when I hand them out to the beta readers, I put them on separate documents, so I have a little more control over who gets what. And with those few sketchy beta readers, because I'd only given them access to a few chapters of the book, they didn't really have anything to go off of. If they wanted to do anything with it, they were going to have to write the entire rest of the book, and good luck. No scammer who's looking for a quick buck is going to put in the work of an author. Tip number 2 is to email yourself a copy of your completed manuscript before you send it to the beta readers. This is just good practice anyways, so that if there is a horrible disaster and your laptop falls in the swimming pool or the hard drive gets wiped, you still have a copy of your work so you don't have to start completely from the beginning again. The reason you're going to want to do this for beta readers is that if you have an email with the entire copy of your manuscript and it's dated and people can see when it was in your possession, if anybody else tries to post it or do anything with it after that point, you can prove that you are the original and true owner of that book. Using this is not going to stop it from possibly being stolen, but it is going to make it easier to get your rights and your intellectual property back in the case that it does get stolen. Another thing you could do is print out the manuscript and have it notarized. Number 3, trust your instincts. Like I just said, there were a couple of the beta readers that just gave off a lot of red flags, made me kind of anxious to continue to send them anything at all. One very memorable one was asking me tons of questions about the story and the genre and a bunch of stuff that you would use for publication, but they never left any comments on the chapters I sent them and only opened it once, and then asked for the next part. Yeah, no, they didn't get the next part. So the third tip is to trust your gut and just drop them. You will be able to find other beta readers. Don't hold on to a bad one just because you can't find any other right now. You will find more. And yet again, this is why I only give out little sections of my book at a time, so that if I get bad vibes, I can cut them off right there, say thank you so much for your time, I'll get back to you when the next part is finished, and then I just never get back to them, or I tell them that I'm no longer looking for beta readers if they continue to message me. It's going to give you a lot more control, and it will make you feel a lot safer and more relaxed. And number 4, to go along with that, is make sure you have good contact information for them. You don't want them just vanishing off into the ether with nothing but a very odd-looking email address. I like to make sure that I have 2 to 3 points of contact for them. If I have an email to send the documents to, I also want to have their Facebook page, or a text, or an alternate email, or some other account that I know I can reach them through. Not so that I can send them spam or stalk them or do anything annoying, just so that if, say, this email's no longer working, I have another way to contact them to just check in. And if they are willing to be in really good contact with me and have no issues with it, that is a very good green flag that says they are probably pretty trustworthy. And also, if they are a fantastic beta reader and I loved working with them, now I have a way to contact them with other books that I write. I can get in touch and be like, hey, you're the best. Do you want to read another one? And tip 5, if you are really nervous and you want just another form of security for yourself, is you can use different sites or forums to have a little bit more control over what they can and cannot do with your work. One that I've seen some authors use recently is Jotform, and I admit I have not used it personally myself. I haven't had the chance yet, but it looks really helpful. You can control what questions you might be asking them. You can put in different agreements for them to sign and to say, oh yes, of course I'll do this. No, of course I won't share it anywhere. It's not ironclad, but it is good proof so that if they go around and sell something, you can be like, hey, is this you? Didn't you sign this? Yeah, you did. And just like with the email or having something notarized, it's just another proof that you told them what they were and were not allowed to do with your work. And last of all, try to relax. It's pretty much expected that in publishing, even for the most famous authors and the biggest names in the industry, that something somewhere is going to get stolen. There's going to be some new website that pops up that has your book and it's annoying and nobody's happy about it. But it happens. But if you've done everything that you can to be as safe as possible while you're out there sharing your work and getting feedback, you can sleep pretty easy at night, just knowing that even if something happens, you have some things you can do to correct the problem. And also to set your mind at ease, some of the people that are just looking for a quick buck and just want to take your story real quick, if you add these hoops for them to jump through, like not giving them the full manuscript, making them answer questions, having good feedback and good contact with each other, they're not going to want to go through all that work. If they're too lazy to write their own books, then they're too lazy to stick around for the entire beta reading process. So just do your best to take what precautions you can, and you're going to be just fine. And that's it for this week. Now go get writing, and I'll see you next Thursday with another video of writing tips.